Hello and welcome to Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures on what is a beautiful morning down here. The sun's high in the sky. There's a bit of a breeze, but that's really pleasant. Well, it's all kicking off here now in the allotment. The plants really love being watered, they love the sunshine, and eventually they're going to love the natural rain when it arrives. Below me here, of course, I've got onions and beetroots, lots and lots of potatoes coming, we hope. Here we've got fresh lettuce, pick and grow lettuce. Some sweet peas are in here. These are some of the sprouts because the others went in the ground yesterday. And as I say, we've got potatoes, we've got carrots, I think, onions, leeks, lots and lots of beautiful things. Sunflowers, it's fantastic. More potatoes, and well, it's amazing. Now, I walked straight past it, which is good of me. Thought I'd just put out some old cuttings from the house. Well, we'll see what's inside there in a moment or two when we start the show properly. So, sit back, relax, and as I'm about to do in a moment, grab yourself a cuppa and, well, welcome to Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures. Cheers. Oh, this is so lovely. Cheers. I found a relatively quiet part of the allotment because, of course, as I'm sure you all know, when you go outside in the sunny weather, the people are doing all sorts, cutting hedges back and rebuilding walls, looking after your growing spaces. Even if you're at home you've got window boxes, there's always somebody outside. But it's really nice here. The sun's getting higher in the sky and warmer too, which is lovely, which is what we want. I am not complaining. We are, however, although so they're talking about, we might get a little bit of a heat wave in the next coming weeks. We have to make sure that we look after our plants. And as I say, a good way of doing that is to water early in the morning, and then if you can, put some sort of mulch cover over or some sort of protection over the top, whether it's in a plant pot or a bucket or a window box. Put something on top to keep the moisture in the soil so the sun can't get at it. And yeah, I'm going to try and do that down here. The other problem I've got at the moment is the weeds are starting to come, and you have to be very careful around the new delicate plants I've just popped in. Speaking of new plants popping in and just showing up, well, inside the white bag that I showed you earlier, I've got all my cuttings from the house, and yeah, I must admit they have been there quite a few weeks because I do keep them, and I like to keep it in the plastic bag because it really goes down, and then it starts to rot. But look, this is what's growing. I've got an old potato at the bottom. I've obviously lopped the end of the potato off, and it's grown lots of roots here, and well, we have a little potato plant growing. Now, as I've said in the past, the problem with that is that will only generate one potato, and eventually it will possibly be huge masses of leaves, and you say, oh, I've got loads of those potatoes. But no, it'll only give you one potato. In fact, do you remember on the last show I said I'd found under the black plastic sheeting some aliens from outer space, some really weird looking stems? Well, they were potatoes, and I've had to dig them up because I've put my butternut squash in, and I've just this moment, before I started filming today, transplanted my pepper plants into this greenhouse, the other greenhouse, the proper greenhouse, not the old railway signal box, or parts of the old railway signal box, and because they need heat. And in the greenhouse there, it gets lots of sun, where the other is actually covered by a tree, so it gets a bit of sun in the morning, but not sun, full sun, which is what the peppers need. So they've gone in there. Interestingly, I do have some little red ants in there. So what I've done, I've got some, because on my allotment, I have mint and spearmint. And so I've taken some leaves and I've laid those because they don't like the smell. So it'd be interesting to see whether or not they disappear over the next few days. They'll just move house. They tend to move around a bit. They follow me around. So as long as they don't attack my plants, I'm not bothered. They do good. And they do attack some of the aphids and all those things. Nice predators, I think we can call them, shall we? So, going back to the potatoes, when I dug them up, every single one of those stalks had a potato underneath, and here's a photograph of such things. So I've got 6 little potatoes, and we'll be enjoying those in the next few days. I love seeing what happens underground. When you take a plant out of a pot, for example, here I have my tarragon. I've been a bit, well, not upset, but they've not been going very fast. I've got specialist herb compost, and this retains moisture really well, actually. It's really good. And well, it's just not growing as I thought. Anyway, I thought to transplant a couple into where the old tarragon grew and grew really well, and the ground is really well. It's very loose, so it just goes through, because basically it's on the banking, and that's the place. I've said in the past, they would come with their buckets from their houses and just chuck stuff that came from the fireplace. So it's quite rubbly, it's quite open. I've put lots of compost in over the years, but it's still got loads of the old coke and coal, the dregs from the fires. So it's a very loose, rubbly. But the tarragon seems to like it because it drains really well, but still retains some of the nutrients. So fingers crossed, they'll be fine. These will be transplanted. Now, when I took them out of here, the reason they're not growing is because their root system is probably twice the size of the plant. In fact, here's a photograph. I was amazed, actually, absolutely amazed at how many roots they had, and that's probably the reason why they're not growing. They need a bigger space, more area to put their roots out. And the other thing that's fascinating, when I put the two plants into the new space where they're growing, there's an offshoot. So they're growing another tarragon plant. So I've left them in the hope. So that means that I put two in, they're both growing one, so I have 4 tarragon plants. So I get 2 free. Isn't that brilliant? Absolutely fantastic. So well done, the tarragon, and it's well on its way. I've been transplanting some beetroot because I've got beetroots in different stages. So I'll have beetroots right to the end of the season, and another one's gone out. And look at this root system. And look at the colour. Isn't it fantastic? Lovely reds. It's just the same as the beetroot, which is logical, really. And I presume that my potatoes that are going to be the lovely salad blue, I'm hoping that their stalks will be blue as well. I think they're a little darker than normal. It's just brilliant. I love this time of year, and all that happens now. I'm going to have another cup of, sup of my cuppa as we pop off to Wakefield. And as I do that, Darren, thank you very much for sending me this mug. It's really, really very useful. And you've, as I said, not had your allotment all that long, but you've become, well, not an expert. You're a grower. You've got an allotment. It's fantastic. Growing lots of things, and you're picking things now. You've got cucumbers, you've got lettuce, you've got garlic, and you've got lots of other plants. In fact, let's have a little montage of all the things that's happening on Darren's allotment. So let's, I can't cue any music, but let's just, well, I'll carry on talking, shall I? Absolutely brilliant, Darren. What can I say? Look at all those. In fact, I can just stop talking, can't I, and play some bird music under it, which I've just done. So, Darren, thank you for your contribution once again. Absolutely brilliant. Well, I better go now. I've got lots of things to do. Before I do that, I would like to thank Saffron and Barnaby down in Glastonbury. You made me this during the period where we were all stuck in our homes and we couldn't get out, and that's how these videos started. It just started for friends on Facebook, doing one a day, every day during lockdown. And that's why we've got such a huge back catalogue. But they were about 2 or 3 minutes long. I'll talk a lot more now. The sign here is from Malvern, from Sarah, and Brian, and Jack and Emma, and thank you. And of course the mug from Darren. And Darren did me a t-shirt too, of which I've got, but it's in the wash. I should have got it out. Well, once again, thank you very much for watching Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures. It's great to have you all on board. We're now at about 510 subscribers. Welcome, one and all. Please tell your friends about us. Tell them to come and join the Yorkshire family. Come on, why don't you? And, well, I'll see you next time here on Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures. Oh, before I go, would you like to see what the bulb and roots of a bluebell look like? Because I had to take those out of my greenhouse too. I'll leave you with this little, lovely, perfect picture. Ta-da!